disappointed.
Just disappointed, yeah.
Wow.
I'm just disappointed in the casting. Yeah,
hitting in the solar plexus.
True.
All right. Well, I'm gonna break it down real quick on our on a last review here, dude. It's well. First of all, you should have hit him off with a little bit of
No
for,
more.
from Larry.
Turn that on. You did.
All right. Yeah, enough. It won't stop. Okay, all right. Okay, I got to see a new YouTube series, Star Wars: Forces of Destiny, and I'm loving the crap out of this. It's the I don't know. I'm not continuing. It's interim stories of various characters in the Star Wars universe that are set between every version that we've seen so far, from the original stories to the prequels to the latest, to Rogue One to Force Awakens. All characters that we've seen in these movies, but side stories that are canon. Side stories that show either how they're involved in those stories indirectly, or just give broadening aspects of their character. And I mean furthering adventures of Leia, furthering adventures of Rey, of Ahsoka. Well, first of all, I also got to call out those names that I mentioned. It's heavily focused on the female characters, which I do like too. I don't feel they've gotten that much shine in the mainstream movies, and they're all shorts. Like, you can watch the entire first season in like a half hour, 45 minutes. You know, you can see this whole thing, and then still, you know, have enough time to I don't know, to turn the roast in the oven. You know, but it's good, it's entertaining, and my only beef with it is it's deeply Disney. Like,
Okay.
It's this is the first thing that I've noticed. Yes, this iteration of Star Wars is definitely a Disney property. And I do understand that might be because we're talking about shorts,
Yeah,
and
maybe.
you have to get a certain message across in a certain amount of time, but also the intended audience is kids.
Looks like
So,
the
so
artwork
stories.
is very much directed towards that.
It definitely was. The artwork actually was reminiscent of. Did you ever watch the Clone Wars? Not the CG series, but the original 2003 anime. Yeah, exactly, the 2D one.
Yep.
I got a lot of sense of that artwork in this. Maybe it was an homage to it. I actually didn't read up that too much on that particular aspect of it, which I guess is kind of a shame since I had the time. These are all very short stories. Each of them is about 2.5 minutes long. And they're good stories. You get the action quick, you get the message quick, and you get whether or not you like it fairly quick as well. I myself enjoyed most of them. The first series is only 8 tales, but it was like 6 of them were solid. And they're a good, like, you know, pastime. I imagine these are the types of shorts they'd throw in between longer shows. If you remember when Nickelodeon would do interstitials, you know, Action League Now, Sniz and Fondue.
Sniz and Fondue. I was about to say
Fondue,
that.
yeah.
What a great name.
Sniz and Fondue.
Yeah.
I love, as much as I love Sniz and Fondue, that is 20 years old now.
Yeah, we're old as shit now.
I'm looking at the artwork here. It almost looks like Disney outsourced this series to somewhere else, and they tried to mimic some of the old Disney princess sort of looks, because I'm looking at the eyes of all the lady characters, and they're all shaped exactly the same. Every single one of them.
Well, well, it's animation, dude. Some part of it are going to be uniform, but if you're thinking this is along the lines of the Simpsons farming out most of their animation with no detail to Korea, now think about it more like this. Think about it as if you grew up watching Batman the Animated Series.
Yep.
On Fox, it was a Fox show. It started out. Eventually, when they carried the show on, and it was brought by WB, and it ran there, and it was still Bruce Timm doing the primary base artwork, but he streamlined his own designs to make it more friendly to mass production. This is along that same lines. I mentioned the similarities to the 2003 series, which in itself was deeply stylized. To me, this looked like a more simplified version of that,
like a Disney princess.
Well, yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I think there may be an alternate reason for that.
Well, I mean, they have a lot of action figures here.
Oh yeah, no, totally, dude. There are action figures already produced. There are images out for them, and I do understand why. This is something you really want to mass produce, especially when you're targeting Disney audience. Disney has an audience, Star Wars has an audience, and people want to see more of these particular side characters because they were popular and we didn't see much of them. But I do support this. I like the effort. I really love parallel fiction. You know, it's like if you have a really popular story that I like, I want to know what else is going on in that universe. You know?
So is this canon? Because Clone Wars was canon.
Yes, this is canon too, and I like that aspect. It could be random tales. Hey, you know, here we have friggin' Luke arm wrestling with damn, who wasn't around for Luke? Arm wrestling with
Queen Amidala.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, Luke and Amidala, they're playing hopscotch. You know, it could be something like that, just like what if stories, and none of that. We actually have things that may not directly affect events in the movies, but we see how they're related. Like there's an assassination attempt on what was her name? Not Leia. Doggone it. There's an assassination attempt on one of the prominent female Jedis who I knew from the Clone Wars, and I forget her actual name in the ongoing series, which is a failing on my part.
Is it the green one with the tentacle hair?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
I'm just looking at the character. The whole cast looks all female, which is great.
Yeah, and they're all familiar characters. And there's an assassination attempt on her, but it shows at that point where had she been assassinated, her role in I think it's Attack of the Clones wouldn't have been possible. And it all tied in when you know the outside stories. And I'm really trying hard not to give away things, because the only throwaway story was the first one, which was the pilot. And it's just a simple story with Rey and BB-8 from The Force Awakens just walking through the desert in that little time span that we didn't see them. We were following John Boyega in the movie. And this shows they were looking for a ride out of there. And they may have come across some bandits, which may have furthered their bond. You know, it's cool. And each one of them is just a little vignette to show, hey, some cool stuff happened. And if you know the story, here's how it links. If you don't know the story, it's just some cool stuff. Either way, obviously, I recommend this. It's Star Wars Forces of Destiny. And, I mean, yeah, definitely thumbs up. It's available. The first season is available on YouTube now. You can watch the whole thing in less than an hour. And season 2 is slated for this October. I highly recommend that, too, when it comes out.
So you recommend it for people of all ages or for the target demographic?
I recommend it for people of all ages, but only the target demographic should be the ones to take this seriously. Anyone else, I mean, dude, if you're a hardcore Star Trek fan, Star Wars fan, you're going to love it. If you're not, it's just some cute stuff on the side. Watch it or don't watch it, but it's just something that'll be an interest piece for you. Yeah, which I hate being kind of ambiguous, but definitely if you're of age, definitely check it out. All right, and if not, then